So you did your 3 years and you're out. How do you even survive those next 5 years? Because I know you said before when you were out for 13 months, so you had a contract out on you. How do you survive? Were you still watching your back? Do you still watch your back to this day? And also, how much does location play a part? That's one thing I always found fascinating, that when you actually move, a few hundred miles away from the place you were, it seems, strangely enough, even though they're a plane ride away, the effectiveness or the desire of payback drops down.
Well, understand this. I mean, location means a lot because, it's one thing to walk somebody into a room. Best friend walks you in a room and that's it. It's another thing to, in my case, travel across the country with a hit squad and, take a guy out that is aware of it. And I changed my whole lifestyle, meaning that I didn't go into clubs anymore. I know a club is a bad place for me. I'm pretty well known. I know who hangs out there. Somebody spots me. They make a phone call. I go out into the parking lot. Boom, I'm gone. So I avoided the nightlife. I didn't go to the same restaurant every Tuesday night, Wednesday night. So people know I created a pattern in my life. I didn't walk my dog at 7 o'clock every morning. All the things that I know the guys would be looking for, I'm aware of. I was very disciplined in that regard. And, it's one thing, again, to send a hit squad across the country, try to get somebody that's aware of it and then get away with it. So, and then what happened, the government did me dirty in that they were putting my name on the witness list of major trials that were going on in New York. So everybody thought I was going to cooperate because normally when a guy walks away, he's cooperating. That's what happens. But then I don't show up at any of these trials. And then I get violated on my parole. And then people start to realize, well, maybe this guy is just walking away. He's not going to hurt anybody. And so then they had their own troubles, who was indicted, everybody got in trouble. So I became a less of a concern to anybody. Now, I always say this, I can't go back to Brooklyn and say, hey guys, I'm moving back into the neighborhood. That wouldn't be very smart. I probably wouldn't last 48 hours. But, I always tell people, I believe in God, but God doesn't tell you to be stupid. You got to use your head. You can't, do things like that. But I don't think anybody is got an infamy. I mean, yeah, I know there's talk on the street sometimes because I'm all over the place now. I'm very high profile. And, people still will make remarks about what I do and they don't like it. But look, I never wanted to put anybody in prison. I was never out to hurt anybody. I wasn't upset with anybody. People that I thought maybe, didn't do the right thing with me. Well, that's part of the life. When you get involved, that's going to happen at some point in time. So it wasn't that I was mad. I wasn't even mad at I loved my dad until the moment he died. I loved him. We didn't see eye to eye on things, but he understood. We patched everything up, and he understood what I did. And he knew it was the right thing, even though he wouldn't publicly admit it, because my dad, he's a legend in that regard. He was dying with his boots on. He would never say a word. That's just what he wanted to be known for. And, the one thing I have, Brian, if I can get personal, the one discussion I had with my dad, I said, Dad, do you understand that our whole family was destroyed because of your involvement in this life? I said, we had a sister, died of an overdose of drugs. My brother, 25 years a drug addict, got in a problem, cooperated with the government, and became an informant against you. I said, Mom, 33 years without a husband. At the end of her life, their relationship was ugly because she blamed my dad for everything that went wrong. I said, we had another sister died. She was a basket case. She died at 42 of cancer. The whole family destroyed because of our involvement in this life. I said, I didn't want to do that to my family. But see, the problem with my dad is he wouldn't take responsibility for it. He said, I was framed. And if I wasn't framed, this would happen. I said, I know that, Dad. But you weren't framed because you were a doctor, a lawyer, or a priest. You were framed because this is the lifestyle you chose. I don't agree with framing. Don't get me wrong. Government is not supposed to do that. They have enough weapons and tools to get you the right way. The government can't be lawless. But we got to be honest and face the truth. But he didn't want to admit that. So that was the one kind of disagreement that we had. And, but I love my dad. I know he loved me and I know he loved his family. That was just a way of thinking,
And he disagreed then with you walking away because he thought that was wrong.
He disagreed, but he accepted me back into his life, And I said, Dad, you knew I was never going to hurt anybody, because I sent word to him. I said, you're not going to understand what I'm doing, but you tell people, don't worry about it, and I'm not going to hurt anybody. And Brian, I could have hurt a lot of people. I spent a long time on the street at a pretty high level, and I could have hurt a lot of people, and I didn't, because that's not what I'm about. It's not what I wanted to do. I testified in one case under subpoena from an associate of mine, and he never went to prison. I knew what I was doing. He knew what I was doing. The guy never went to prison, didn't 1 hour in jail. So, and nobody cared about that guy anyway. He was my guy. And like I said, I knew how it was going to turn out. And he never did an hour in jail. So, and I was subpoenaed in the case. And all I did was tell the truth.